It's been 40 years since the massacre at Munich. 11 Israeli athletes and coaches were taken hostage and killed at the 1972 Olympic Games in Germany. The victims were remembered today at a small ceremony by the Center of Israel and Jewish Affairs. And Tanya, this memorial was held because the IOC refused to hold a minute of silence at tomorrow's opening ceremonies in London.
They held, Mitsumi here, they held a minute of silence of their own. They said they stood here as a living monument to those who were murdered. They also lit candles in memory of the 11 athletes and coaches who were killed. And there was a sense of frustration because, as you said, the International Olympic Committee has basically refused, despite international calls, including from Canada, to pay tribute, to commemorate the death of these athletes and coaches at the opening ceremonies at tomorrow's games. The reason that's been given is that they say that the opening ceremonies is not necessarily a place to pay tribute to such a tragedy, and that to the people here today is, a lot of them called it discrimination, and they just can't understand the reason why the International Committee is refusing to pay tribute to these athletes and coaches.
And it's heartbreaking to know that we have to do this ourselves, that the IOC has refused to do so for reasons that, again, are beyond our comprehension. It is tragic that the memory of these athletes are going to be remembered and held only by the community that is gathered here and Jewish communities across the world.
Now, they say tomorrow when they watch the opening ceremonies and they see the Israeli team, they will see the team with pride, but they will remember the spirit of those who were killed. You'll remember basically in '72, I spoke to an athlete who was there, and he says when he closes his eyes, he sees it like it was yesterday. He says there was lax security at the time. He says that the Black September group, which is the terrorist group essentially that managed to get into the Olympic Village and take the Israeli athletes and coaches hostage, basically that security was lax, there was botched rescue attempts, and this particular athlete who was playing volleyball for the Soviet team says that he just can't understand how this could happen, and 40 years later still doesn't understand why it is so difficult to have these athletes and coaches' memories paid tribute to by the International Olympic Committee. They're hoping maybe there might be a change of hearts, but at least today they came here, they paid their tribute, and they say that they just want the families to know that they're there for them and they will never forget these athletes and their coaches and what they went through. Mitsumi?
Thank you very much, Tanya. That's Tanya Kriviak in Cotler.